Honestly, I feel as though this chapter would have been fine if it wasn't for the end, because Eileen's power wasn't no BS, and I'm really thankful that it wasn't completely just like a reset of Fairy Tail, like, hey, everything is reset, nothing ever happened, and shit like that. That would have been a disaster. So I'm glad that wasn't the case, because I know a lot of people were like, hey, I'm ready to see a rant and shit like that, and if that was the case, I would have ranted. However, still, the ending of the chapter, the Gajeel stuff, is the one thing about this chapter that I'm like, you just played our emotions up to the max. I just had a little teary eye over Gajeel, and don't get me wrong, as a fan of the character, I'm like, yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind him back, but you just did this a couple chapters ago, bro. He just went to the other world, the underworld, whatever, a few chapters ago, and he's already lying down there seemingly on the same grounds as the new Fior. So there's a couple explanations there. It could have been when Eileen used her rearranging magic, that since Gajeel was turning into particles, maybe she rearranged his particles and he's probably still alive and he's thrown in the ground somewhere. It could also be based on Zero showing up at the end of the chapter, that he's basically like a spirit like Zero. Maybe there's, you know, the spirit dimension where nobody really could see you, and maybe that's what Gajeel has become, and Zero's gonna help him get back to the normal world, stuff like that. But too soon, and at the end of the day, you did play our emotions up yet again. That Gajeel's done, Levy's crying, Panther Lily's crying, we're all crying, and then you reverse it. Wait, Hiro, when are you gonna stop? When are you gonna stop, bro? Like, I know from what I heard, Rave Master had a lot of tragedy to it, and it seems as though Fairy Tail, you want to do the exact opposite, but come on, bro. You just... seriously. There was quite a bit of advancement though in this chapter, and I definitely feel thankful for that with what Eileen did, having Zeref already in the Fairy Tail Guild right there, face to face with Mavis, and she's alive and shit like that. Really good setup, really good progression in that aspect. So again, it's like the Gajeel stuff is the only thorn in the side of this chapter, because everything else, it had some really awesome progression. And then you even get to see a lot of the Fairy Tail members were separated, which kind of makes me think that that's more of a setup yet again for more fights to come for all of them, because Wendy's by herself somewhere. So I think there's still going to be more fights for Fairy Tail, and that's why Hiro did that whole separation. But overall, the chapter is like, it got good progression. Acnologia is like God knows where, even though motherfucker could fly, so it won't be that long until he gets back to Fior. And also you have a change in the landscape, so things are a lot closer, so people aren't going to be just miles and miles away, and the war is still going on. So it's like really good setup, really good progression. But the ending though is like, please, at the very least, since you already fucked everything up with Gajeel, bringing him back so soon, and bringing him back period after you just played the fuck out of our emotions, at the very least, let it be sensible. Let it be that he's in the spirit world with Zera, and they're kind of like on the same plane as far as like, you know, our world is right here and the spirits are there, but maybe we can't see them, and maybe Zera's gonna help him return, and Zera's gonna come back with him, something like that. And I think to a certain degree that would also help Mavis's character. So if you are gonna do the happy ending thing, which is seemingly he's already going that way, and he kind of, you know, again, it's like, if you are gonna have to do that, then at least make it seem somewhat credible. Don't make it seem that, hey, Gajeel's still alive, you know, he was just at death's door, but he just managed to scrape on by. Like, please. And I'm not gonna drag this review on too long. Honestly, I said what I had to say. The ending of the chapter was disappointing with Gajeel. Everything else was good setup and progression, so I'm kind of like in the middle with this one. I'll let you rate it. Do you think it was horrible because of the Gajeel return, or you think everything else, the progression, Zera being in the hole, everybody getting ready for another round, I don't know, 10 million of this war, or, you know, what is your whole take on all this? Again, because I'm kind of like split. It's like, it was good progression, good setup, Zeref, gotta love Zeref and shit like that, but at the cost of, yet again, at the end of the chapter, Gajeel, like, you should have just left him dead. I love the character. He shouldn't have died to begin with, but if you're gonna do that, should have left him, you know, in the underworld or wherever the fuck he was sent. And your overall thoughts of the chapter. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.